All right. Let's go. Get some Webflow Stream 1. So, welcome. Good morning to those of you who are here with me, which may be nobody right now, but that's okay. Um, so, I'm just going to pull this up so I can get some chat going. All right. Well, I'll try to have some chat rolling here, but so basically, my name's Ben Parker, and I like to work in Webflow, do it a lot, and so today I have to spend some time, spend some time building a website for a client, and so I thought I'll just stream part of it, and so this part's probably going to be fairly interesting because I don't exactly know everything I'm going to do with it yet. So I'm kind of in the exploratory build design phase, so you guys can follow along with me, and hopefully, if you have questions, hit me up. Just here to talk and to stream, and to kind of try to build something cool. So here we go. Let's get started. Overview for people who maybe go back and watch this is building a website for a client who is starting a salon, and we started with a logo build. Um, so this is round one of the logos we designed. So emphasis was on sustainability, eco-friendly, um, and so really wanted to have earth tones um, and um, and some playfulness to it as well. So here are a few looks that we did for the logo, and you can see right here gave about 5 different looks for them to look at, and ended up going with this logo here, but we changed the colors to kind of more earth tone look. And so this is the logo that we're working with now. This is going to be the logo that we design around. This is the logo they're rolling with. And then this here is the mood board that they kind of put together. So just images and ideas and colors and different things that appealed to them. So gonna kind of try to work off this. I think the final color palette that we're rolling with is more like this, which is going to be interesting and challenging. I hope to bring in a lot of color to kind of make some things pop, and so we'll be using a custom font, and so custom font is going to be the same font that we pulled from here for the logo. So we'll be using that font in spots, and then also using the 2 Google fonts here. So we're using a Brill Fat Face and Source Sans Pro for typical font throughout the project. So do have some images. Was lucky enough to get some images from a photographer, and they're pretty nice. Really well shot, really sharp images. I haven't really worked with them a lot yet, and we have more images coming. But for today, probably going to have to play with throwing some stock imagery in just to kind of get started. So that's kind of the overall build here. So and so apologies for my stream setup because I don't do this a lot, and so you'll probably see me make some mistakes and do some things terribly wrong. And this is probably not the best setup, but it's working. So if you have questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm going to try to keep an eye on chat here. And so happy to share or answer any questions that you might have as I'm building along the way. So let's get started. So I'm going to come over and create a new project. Start with a blank template and just call it State Salon. Get loaded up. So some of the things that were important to the client was ability was simple, clean, kind of a modern type look, and really wanted to be able to focus on clients being able to book. So, are using a third party software piece called Vigaro, and so we'll be integrating that in so people can book using that tool. So, all right, so let's jump right in. Uh, First things first is I really haven't even prepped my images at all, not even kind of. So probably need to start there. I do have logo already available, so I'm going to go ahead and open this in a new tab and go ahead and save this image. All right, let's come back over here and upload our image. And it's already been sized, and I've already run it through Tiny PNG to make it a little bit smaller. So next, I think what I want to do is take these images right here, and I want to kind of work with them, maybe cut out the background just so I can play with it a little bit. Typically use Photoshop for this. I'm trying out a tool that I've used for just a little bit here, and it's called Clipping Magic, just for fun. We'll see how it does here. So if you haven't played with this tool, it's pretty fun. There's Vector Magic is like a nice it's a nice alternative too to, like, if you have a logo that a client has and they don't have any vector artwork and you need something to kind of work with. Um, that's a pretty neat tool. It works pretty well. So the way it works is you just have a couple of tools up here. I have an eraser and a slicer, way to kind of move around, and then paint brushes that are green and red, and this would be familiar to anybody who played with Photoshop at all. So just kind of marking what you want, what's a part of the image, and then if you take the minus tool, kind of slap around the edge of what you want to cut out. It does a pretty good job of recognizing what's what. And the reason I use this tool, just I mean, yes, I could use Photoshop. I just feel like typically this works so much faster, and it's pretty light and easy to use. You see, just a few seconds, I already got images I can play with and use and download and still. So I don't know if anybody else out there is using this, but this is like dream tool, and I really love it. I get a lot of use out of it. So, and you can zoom in um, and really get into the details. If you want to really get in and try to smooth things out, then you can absolutely do that. Painting along the edges and trying to smooth out the ridges where it's not so rough. So, um, but so that's one image real quick. So go ahead and download that. Image one already. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out and just slap in another image here. And we'll see what we got. Maybe pick something a little different this time to highlight the skincare piece. These are all really good images. This photographer is incredible. Um, I like that one, so let's go with this. All right. Making sure nobody's got questions or chatting. All right, so it automatically shrinks the image. These images are huge. You got the raw files here. And so, once again, it's just, kind of tracing what you want to keep. Just very quickly. And then just back through and marking what you don't want. So, click it there. I love the live preview on the right side. It kind of makes it super easy. And already cut out a couple of images here, so go ahead and download that. Take it. All right, so let's go to tiny PNG here. We'll have to, in fact, might have to break out Photoshop anyway just to scale these down, honestly, depending on how much they shrunk them. Yeah, I think probably going to have to. I mean, still at, 5.7 megs here. Let's look at size. Just see what we got. All right. So let's go ahead and open up Photoshop and mess with those here in just a second. In fact, before I do that, let's go ahead and just look for some image model or some model images that I can use for the website. So I know the client is going to be looking at not so much just photos of hairdos, things like that on her promotional images that she's going to use on the website, other places. But she's also going to be using, like, she's actually going to have models. She's going to style them. Going to take some pictures. So really, what I need are just pictures of models posing. And so going to be gender neutral. And so we need guys and gals in on this as well. So she wants to serve both. Plans on doing shaves, which I plan on getting in on that action when this place opens up. Go get a shave, a beard trim. So let's just let's look here, see what we get. Some hopefully good images that we can use. So when I'm looking for stuff that really pops or stands out, and I kind of want it to, once again, I want to pull from the mood board. Here I'll be able to kind of steal from this style. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, just something that catches the eye, things that might work and fit. Of course, I don't have to worry so much about this because we're going to be have some of our own images that they'll be shooting and providing. So I don't have to worry so much about these being perfect since they're just kind of going to hold for just a little bit, hold place for just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and steal this one too. So I like that a lot. Now just some images. Oh, there you go. This is great. So when I asked the client about style and look, they said the other thing that was really important to them was diversity. And they wanted to make sure that they represented diverse crowd. Clients are just such cool people and really, really good style and wanting to have an impact. What's cool about the salon is that everything will be recycled. Like even the tin foils, they will from hair coloring will break down, and then they're going to go ahead and recycle that. Or actually, they're trying to, what they're doing now is actually given away to homeless to recycle, get some money out of, and then to do some donating too. So it's pretty neat. I love their mindset and how they just wanna help people and be sustainable. So everything will be looked at and everything will be sustainable and recyclable in their shop, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and download this image. I really like it. I think the background image kind of matches some of the colors they were looking at. And the challenge here is that some of the colors we ended up going with on our color board may not clash extremely well, or may clash a little bit and not go extremely well, so we're going to have to play with this just a little bit. These are the pink tones, kind of something cool that they wanted. I also like this right here. I think this is pretty neat. So let's see here. Oh, that's pixels, so I don't really need to jump in here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these images over and kind of get them organized as well. Alright. And I may just jump into pixels here and do some searching and see if there's something here that immediately stands out that might be something that we want to grab. All right. I got some conversation going here. Good morning, Stu. Good morning, Nelson. Glad you're here. Oh, I'm glad you like Cliffing Magic. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I really, 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 really like it. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and search for some more models here on Pexels just to see if there's something that kind of matches our style and vibe here. So go ahead and throw this. Really, I guess one thing I could be searching for is retro. She really loves the client really loves the old school look here. So searching for model gets you some interesting images as well. All right. I didn't mean for my stream to show bikini-clad women, but it's where we are. So, all right. Not as much here. That's okay. I think I have enough to work and to really to play with for a while anyway. So, especially since we're going to be shooting our own images, I do like this a little bit, but I'll go ahead and download it too. All right. So here we go. Oh, I'm back to my dashboard. Didn't mean to be there. Oh, or there. Or there. All right. So let's go back over to Webflow. I'm going to go back into my project settings. Play here for just a little bit. Go ahead and add my fonts and kind of get started here. So this is kind of the first thing I like to do, make sure I have all my fonts added, because I do like to follow Ryan, who works at Webflow, posted just a while back now, like a project that's a style guide, and if you're not using it, you are missing out. and so now the first page I typically build is just a style guide with all the fonts and colors listed, and try to style all the elements and get everything in place so that I'm good to go. And once I start building, I don't have to worry about styling so much. So that's where I'm gonna start. A real fat face. I feel weird saying fat face. Okay. It's like I'm going right back to elementary school. Am I right? No? Okay. And then, oh, there's a playlist that you probably don't care about. Oh, and then Source Sans Pro is my other one, so I really liked Source Sans Pro. And I just want I want a lot of different options here with this font. And in fact, yeah, That's good. All right. So Source Sans Pro and Admiral Fat Face added, and then I have a custom font that's from the logo that I'm not really going to use as a part of the headings, but I do have an idea to like maybe it's because it's not super readable on its own. So I do have an idea where I might use it as a heading or a title, and maybe have Source Sans or Abril in the background, kind of more opaque where that's the readable, and this font's just applying the style. So I'm going to upload that so I have it available. And then as always, you can't work on any web project without including Font Awesome. And so if you, oh, there it was. Was there a dash in there? Nope, Font Awesome. If you are new to Font Awesome, it is, what Font Awesome is, oh man, my computer on the struggle bus. Let's see if I can get this to pull up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and find it here. Ah, good call. Thank you, Nelson. I appreciate it. Stream paused. What I need to do is get a monitor set up where I can actually see the chat without keeping this up. But that is neither here nor there. So Font Awesome, for those who are not using it, it's a free font that allows you to use icons without having to do a lot of work. And so you can literally just copy and paste. So I want to go ahead and upload that as well. Wow, it's not going to show. Cool. Yeah, I had it in that folder. Maybe I deleted it. Okay, so I think all I'm seeing is the old one. So I'm going to go ahead and download the new version, because it was upgraded recently. Before it was one font, and now you actually can install 3 different fonts. And if you go to their cheat sheet, which is just something that I use regularly, and not just me, I think a lot of people use regularly, it lists all the icons, and it'll actually show all of the different icons you can copy and paste. But you can see solid icons, and then they have regular icons and brand icons. And so you're going to get 3 different fonts in with Font Awesome too. So I'm just going to hit download. And go ahead and extract this and put these fonts in. Then we'll jump over to Photoshop and try to resize some of our images, and export them and compress them, and then we'll start designing. So web fonts are here, CSS. Okay, all right. So everything's there. Now just run back over and upload. And go to my downloads here. And web fonts. So brands and regular and solid. I need all 3 of those, so I'm going to open them up. Or I might need all 3 of them. I like to upload them all just in case there's a certain icon that I want. I don't have to go back and do it again. So, all right. So I have all of my fonts installed. Yeah, if you really wanted to, you could put together a Typekit. I have considered using a Typekit for this one because Cooper Black is in Typekit, and that really falls in line with some of the font that that the client loves. But I'm going to start without it, and then maybe push to it if it's something that they really want. So I'm going to pop back into my designer right now. And then I'm going to open up Photoshop. Nelson, you're the best. I love all the suggestions. All right, so Get Photoshop rocking. I feel like streaming is just putting the weight of the world on my computer shoulders right now. We're on the struggle bus here. Do, do. Don't let anybody tell you this is easy. I have much respect for Nelson and people who stream all the time. People who put out those videos, Mr. Create. It's intimidating, at least a little bit. All right, so I need to grab all of my images. I just want to look here and see kind of what aspect ratio we're in and what this looks like here. So if I drop back up to my folder with all my assets here, kind of standard fare here, but I do have one that's portrait. And these are my clips. Yep, and another that's portrait. So I have a couple portrait images and a couple that are more standard. All right. I'm going to jump in. I like to use the presets, especially for pictures. So I'm going to use my photo preset, and I'm going to look at just I just grab a landscape, and then I like to switch it to pixels, and I typically top out at like 1500. I don't like to get them much bigger than that. So I just try to get myself a big enough canvas to play with, so when I throw my images in, I can have them fit and I can crop them down. So that's how I work. I probably work a weird way, but that's okay. Whatever works for you, that's what I've figured out. Like, it does not matter what your process is, as long as you get the images resized and compressed and they look the way you want them, then mission accomplished. So don't ever feel intimidated by an official process or the way things are supposed to be, quote. And I feel like that's part of the fun of Webflow, is that it's all about the designer's eye. You don't have to know how to code. You don't have to know how to do anything specific, right? It's just about, can you use the tool and get it to do what you want it to do, which I really love, right? I used to do video production in the past, and I used to always get, I loved the conversations that filmmakers would have, but I always loved the rebels who were like, forget process, what equipment you use, how it looks. The most important thing is did the film turn out looking and coming across the way you wanted? I feel like it's the same thing um, with websites, so, and with design. So, all right, so model image 1. I'm just going to go ahead and save this. And then I'm just going to step backwards here and pop in another one of my images. So I'm just going to go back to this one right here. All right. There's prepping images. This is probably the boring part, so I apologize, but we'll get to designing actually here in a minute. So I'm using Nelson's favorite keyboard shortcut right there for Save for the Web. It is quite satisfying to use. All right, and then see, let's go ahead and place another. We'll go ahead and kick this one out. Let's go ahead and crop. I really love this image. This is an awesome image. All right, you go ahead and grab this. Call it model image 3. All right, kill this. And place another image. Another great image. These are some really good portraits for free photography, free stock. I like it. Okay, so I'm going to save this one to model image 4. And then I just step backwards. I could use the shortcut. I'm just trying to let you see what I'm doing here. And then I do have my skincare images that I clipped as well. And so I want to play with those too. I'll place these in. And since I clipped these, I like to, you want to make sure these are PNG so we can take advantage of the transparency behind the image. So I'm just going to clip this down, crop this down here. Now I can do some fun stuff with this. So save this as a PNG instead. Save. And then I'm going to go ahead and step back and drop in my last image. So one more. Go ahead and get rid of this other one here. All right. Pull this over. All right, so we're looking good now. Export this last one. And now we got our images. So we'll go ahead and quit Photoshop. All right. And I'm going to head over to TinyPNG just so I can drop images here. So Stu so son's live streaming Roblox. Oh man, I need to spend some time messing with the stream for sure. I might be messaging you if I decide to keep doing this. You and Nelson both, so you guys can give me some advice here. I'll gladly take all of it. So I'm going to go in here. Since I've got my images resized, I'm just going to go ahead and try to compress them here. And really, my model images here are still too big at 1.4 meg and 1.7 meg. I'm just going to go ahead and use them right now to mock up a design. But there's no way I'd use them in a final project without resizing and doing a lot more work. You can see TinyPNG saved me a ton of size there, right there. So that's good. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and download these all. Did I kill my Finder window? Okay, so desktop. I'll put the sustain. Oh, this is quickly turning into a mess. So one thing I like to do is I like to do original images. And I just like to dump everything into original images. All the images that I don't need anymore. We'll put these into original images as well. And then I will come back over here to downloads and grab my my images here, pressed images, and just unzip real quick. Boom. Okay, so now I have all my images that are compressed, so I'm just going to say compressed images. Oop. And so now I've got those there. Let's go ahead and upload those to the assets here in Webflow. So go ahead and drag those over. I like working with clients who have an awesome voice and an awesome style, because it makes you look like you've got good style. So really, uh, that's the what makes projects, I think, the best. The best projects really awesome is just having somebody that you can design for that's just got so much style and voice. It makes telling their stories really awesome. So, all right. So I am going to come over here and add a new page. I'm just call it style guide. And I'm going to go ahead and create this page. So now I'm just going to come in and start adding all my elements and building my styles. And so if the Webflow actually released a video yesterday for Webflow University. Um, thanks, Nelson. Have a good day. Um, and so the video they released yesterday for Webflow University was about how to throw in some meta information and make sure Google wasn't indexing a specific page. So if you're doing a style page, I highly suggest you go check out Webflow's YouTube channel, or hit up Webflow University for that video. It's a real quick one. And that way you can make sure that when you build a style guide, it doesn't come up as a listed in Google searches, because that's the last thing you want. Build a site for a client, they Google the website, and one of those little listings underneath that falls in there, especially if it's a small site that doesn't have a lot of pages. If it's a style guide, it's typically not the best. And so I'll just call this style section. And I'm going to go ahead and add some padding, and then throw in a container. And so now it's time to start with the elements. So first thing that I always like to do is I just like to drop the logo in. We'll make it high DPI here. So in fact, I'll make this even smaller. And typically what I do is, in fact, I get to go ahead and throw a div block in. I'm going to call this style wrapper. And so typically what I like to do is I like to add the logo in, and then typically over here, I'm not going to have it all linked up right now, but I'm going to go ahead and, in fact, I'm just go ahead and throw in some columns too. Just to quickly do this here, I like to throw in links for the client to be able to download their logo in all the different formats that they might need it. So, I like to have PNG, and I like to have EPS and JPEGs and stuff that they can use for, if I've specially formatted things, if it's just like a bug or an icon, like maybe just the S, like every little thing that I've designed that they can use, I like to have it listed so they can go to a style page. They can pull colors. They have the colors that they can use for printers and for other projects, and they have all the logos that they can download in the appropriate format that maybe they need to use. So it's kind of Stu's commenting. Yeah, Stu, it's so true. It's so true. Like the clients that have, it's funny. People are like, "Oh, I really love this website you did. You did such a great job." And okay, well, maybe I did okay, but really, what makes that website great is somebody who has such a unique voice or has such a unique brand and really great style. That's what makes it special. I 100% agree with you. So I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna throw in a heading. So H1, and if you haven't done this before, when I start, typically you come up to the selector, and you'd probably put in whatever your style is going to be, your name, your class. Here I'm going to start by just all H1 headings, right? And all of my headings are going to be in the abril, and so I'm just going to keep that. So now all my H1 headings are going to be styled this way, and it's actually a little much for me, maybe. Just a little spacing there. Okay, so so now I've got my H1. I'm just going to copy it over, and I'm going to use the gear icon and make it an H2. I'm going to keep following the process here, all H2 headings. In fact, I'll keep all the default styles for now, but I'm just going to put in a little space there, make it a little more readable. One thing I always wished is that, and maybe I shouldn't be saying things like this on the stream, but I always wish that when I opened up a Webflow project, I would get like be greeted first with a pop-up box. And it's the first time I've ever said I want to see a pop-up box on a website, but if there was a box that popped up and said, hey, would you like to create a style guide now? Yes or no? And I could opt out, say no, and just start designing. Or I could say yes. Or even if I had a link to pull it up to where it said, okay, you know, what's your default font going to be? I could select it, style it. What about your headings? What font? I could style them. You know, what about your lists? How will they work? Style them. Form inputs, style them. So I could kind of walk through, and then it would be globally styled on everything. And then now every element I pull pulls from my global style, and then all I would have to do is modify anything unique or different. It's always been kind of like a dream or a want, something I wanted. I think that would be pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to come down here to these and just keep styling. I don't know if anybody else has ever felt that way when they're going through this process, because I always feel like this process can be tedious. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so just go ahead and change these to 4 and 5. I really should probably go put that on the Webflow wish list, huh? All right, so all H5 headings. All right, all H6 headings. All right, okay, so I have my headings set up, and now it's really, we're just going to keep copying and pasting and adding elements. So now that I've got that there, I'm actually going to come here and I'm going to throw in a paragraph. Nope, nope, not a block quote. We'll get there though. I'm going to throw in a paragraph here, and I'm going to come here and say, okay, all paragraphs. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and grab the body and say body all pages. I want my font to be this font that I selected from Google, which was a Source Sans Pro. I like maybe a little bit bigger. Too much. Something like that, yeah. So my Source Sans Pro, and in fact, I'm probably going to change the color of the font. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a color palette now. So how I typically like to do that. Yes, I'm going to add it to the wish list for sure. Quick style picker. That's a good idea. To do that. I've you know, it's funny. I get on the stream and I'm like, hey, we should do this, and it's like, hey, did you ever add it to the wish list? No, which I should have done. So my bad. I'll do that. So I'm gonna just set a width on this. I'm gonna call it, you know, let's just do like 200 by 200 here. And this is where I typically add in my colors. So colors, I know for sure I'm using this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. This is going to be our main color. And so I'm going to add it. Obviously going to make it global so that I can change it if I need to. And then rinse and repeat. As Nelson would say, like I'm just going to go through and add all of this as well. So I'm going to copy and paste and pull in here and add this as a global class, a global color. So now I have my second color here. That's both colors from my logo. And then some other colors for a black. Didn't really want to use a true black. That might be have a little too much shade to it for me. Maybe, yeah, maybe something like this here. We'll use it. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to change this color, and we're going to add this to the global. There we go, color palette, and then a lighter alternative to the yellow we're already using, just because shades are always good. I got a feeling this project's going to have a lot of colors, which can be a nightmare, or it could be really good depending on how I implement it. We'll see what kind of work I do here. Let's see. I'm going to pull this over. Still this teal. I really like. So go ahead and pull this in. And let's go ahead and add it. Alright, so I've got all my colors added in. I'm going to go back to the body. It's about jumping all the way up here. And I'm going to change my black color to, yeah, there we go. Alright, not a huge difference, but it was kind of a preference from client. Alright, so now I've got my paragraphs, my basic font, I've got my headings, I've got my colors in, and in fact, I like to do this here, style section, and jump back up. And I'm going to delete this. And we'll go ahead and just go ahead and make this in one block here. Alright, so now I have my color block, so I'm just going to duplicate this class, color block 2, pick my second color here, so change this one to my original color. Then I'm going to come through here and duplicate this class, color block 3. I'm sorry for people who want to watch design process. This is just just typically how I get started, just to make it easier for myself and the client. So lots of details, but it's stuff that's got to get done. So come here to the color block, and this one I'm going to duplicate this class, call it color block 4, and pick my fourth color here. Probably should have done this originally when I was getting started. So the way I did, and then duplicate this class, call it color block 5. And then typically, what I like to do is eventually I will drop in the hex codes and the CMYK, all that fun stuff, so that clients can copy that and make use of it. But now we've got our colors, at least some of the colors we're going to be using. I'll be honest, I don't know how I'm going to make this work with this color palette. Probably end up changing it quite a bit. That's okay. That's part of the process. Trying to find what works here. So I'm going to get rid of this guy right here now because I don't need him. And then I need to file or style my default links. So I'm going to throw in a link here. And so select it, same process, all links. And I'm going to go ahead and say that I want my links to be, no way that meets the standard. Okay. When it comes to contrast. So okay. So I'll use this just the green. I'll say all links are this, and then all links on the hover state. We're going to take away the underline. So got that piece done. And so now I'm going to come down. I've got all my headings. I've got a heading, paragraph, and a link. And then I'm going to come over here to this row right here, and where I've got all my headings listed. I'm going to go ahead and delete the logo out of this one. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in, excuse me, I'm going to throw in a list here. Oop, where did it go? Paragraph link. One block. Oh, here we go. A list. This is where you always have to have a little bit of dummy text just so you can kind of see how this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this over. All right. So get the list styled. Um, and if you're not doing this, I feel like you're probably missing out just because lists by default are just so compressed. I like to style mine up, and this is where you can really, all list items. You can really have some fun with stuff. If you want your list items to be different font sizes, you want to put some backgrounds in. This is where you can, that's not universal, but you can um, on your list, your unordered list, you can remove the bullets, or you can add custom attributes, and you can style your ordered and unordered here. So I'll flip that around, but not a lot of styling I wanted to do. I just wanted to. The client will probably end up having a place where they can write maybe a blog type situation. Not 100% on that, but may eventually go there. So. Just want to have those list items styled. And so copy that style section one more time, come up to my body, paste it in, and so now I like to style my inputs and my buttons just to make sure that everything is taken care of and handled. So I'm going to go ahead and rip these headings out as well. And on this side, I'm just going to throw a button. I'm going to style the button first. Um, so there is no global all buttons link or all buttons selector. So what I like to do is just give it a class of button, and then that's my base class for all of the buttons that I use in my project. Um, so here I'm going to set the background color to our green. Let's go with green, and I'm going to use the Abro fat face right here on the text. I hate saying it. I'm not going to say fat face anymore. I'm just going to say Abro. And that's going to be the font. And then I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. A little more padding around this. And I want to soften this just a little bit. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a radius of the button so the edges aren't so harsh. So now this is my button, and then hover state. I'm just going to go to kind of that darker gold, and then no. Okay, so now I have a button, and then if you really want to get fun and with it, you can come in here and on your button add a transition in on the background color just to ease it a little bit. So boom, just keep it at 200 easing, and there we go. So a little bit smoother, and now I have a button that I can use over and over, and then I can play off that, add combo classes, and style it wherever I want. So over here, one cool thing about Webflow is I can even style all of my labels and all of my inputs. I'm actually going to come right over here and just call this one button 2. So it automatically pulls that same styling. And then let's do all labels. So I want my labels to be, see what they look like with the ab roll. Yeah, let's do that. Ab roll, and then see, yeah, and just bump this up just a little bit, and then inputs don't have a global selector, which is uh, it's okay because you can just follow the same kind of guide that you use with your buttons. So I'm just going to call this one field input, and then every other field that I style, I'm just going to call it input, unless I want to change things up and style something specifically. So, all right, I'm not going to jump into styling these right now because I don't think we're even going to have any forms except for maybe a search box. And so all of the contact and all the contact information, all of the booking is going to be done through a third-party service that will integrate into the site so that they can punch a button. It'll just bring a pop-up box, or we'll have it embedded in the page. We haven't decided which route we want to go with, and then they'll book. And so all of it will be styled from them. We'll just color everything to make sure it matches the style of the site. So, all right. So now we got the style guide done. I'm trying to think of any other elements that I typically add. I typically, like if I'm going to have a blog right to start, I will add in a block quote. And I'll style my checkbox and radio buttons and all that fun stuff. And we'll have lots of forms, but seeing as I'm not going to really do that with this site. And then I also like to style my tabs if I know, once again, if I'm going to have a bigger site where I have a lot more content, and it's not so much about the style of the site or the layout of the site. It's not like a minimal one-page site, but it's 15, 20, 30-page site. You're probably going to have some tabbed um, elements in there, and so I like to add those in as well. So, all right. I have a friend who likes to throw in the nav bar here as well and the footer, and to go ahead and style those while they're at it, and go ahead and turn them into elements. But when I get there, I like to start from a blank canvas. So here we go. Time to actually start building a site. And so this is where I don't know how other people approach it. And in fact, watching a few different videos this week, I saw some people they steal from other projects and they copy like UI kits or whatever, and they kind of essentially wireframe. They just paste in the sections so they have something to work with, and then they go through and style and customize. Uh, I sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. I really feel like this website is so unique with how they want to approach things, as far as they don't want anything super standard fare. So um, I've got to kind of figure out just exactly how I wanna approach this. So this should be fun. So all right, here we go. Excuse me. I'm gonna start by throwing in a nav bar, and just gonna call this class a nav bar. I'm gonna call this nav link. Right, I'll call this brand link, and then I'm just gonna throw in my logo. Just way too big. In fact, I think I'm already gonna have to. Let's see. I'm just going to make sure I do this by class, because I don't want to. I want to be able to maybe have it different sizes over the different breakpoints. So with the logo the way it is, I'm probably going to have a taller nav bar, or I could keep the logo out of the nav altogether. So here's where we start playing a little bit, right? All right. So definitely. My nav bar. And then I'm going to have a section. It's a hero section. And then I'm going to have a section that is a skincare section, and then I'm going to have a section that is a gallery section. And then I'm going to have a section that is a footer section. All right. So I think with my nav bar, nav links here. Go ahead and push these down a little bit. I feel like that's maybe too much. So 2 through 130. Let's just take a peek here. In fact, just a little bit much. And then I'm going to go ahead and give these a little bit of a soft corner too. And then on style, like I need to style the hover states here. So on hover, I'm actually going to have it just kind of invert this here. So let's go with that same color background, but then let's make the text color not transparent. Let's do it as a white here. So that when it hovers, it kind of gives us that. Yeah. Maybe that should be a green on hover. Oh, hover. My bad. Let's look at that. Let's see. I feel like that's unreadable if I do it that way. Negatory. Might be that, but for now we're going to go with white. We'll see how this plays out. I think I'm going to have to play with the color palette quite a bit off of what was preferred to what will actually work. Sometimes that happens. Client has a set of colors and you're just like, there's no way I can make this game work with this set. That's okay. That's what it's all about. Good communication, good give and take. I've got an awesome client who's going to be pretty cool with whatever happens. I'm not going to keep my nav bar gray for sure. I like to have it up to when I what is it, 120 pixels, and I've got 53 here, 56, 51. So. So I probably should pull those back up just a little bit. I love this little tool. It's called Pixel Snap. It's kind of awesome. All right, let's see here. So now that I've got this in, I'm going to go ahead and start building the hero section. So the hero section, in fact, I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is dragging my nav bar into my hero section. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now because I think that's what I want to do here. And so hero section is where like I want big, bold images or an image that I can use, and then I want to style around that. So I'm going to come in here and make my hero section. I'm going to give it a height of like 500 here. We'll start with that height and just see if we like it. On my nav bar, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make it transparent. And we might have to put some shading or some background or whatever, but we'll play with it. Some people like to come in and they don't use the default container, so they'll put in like a div block here. I think I've seen Nelson do this. He's particular, and I know a few other people who like to put in a div, and then they give it a width of 100% with a max width of like 1200 pixels or 1500 pixels, so that it flexes for bigger screens. I'm gonna just stick with the default container for now. and just see how we go. I think most people who are going to be hitting this site, just based on some research that I've done, are probably going to be on a mobile phone. Shocker, I know. And so I don't think I have to worry about larger viewports as much. I mean, I want it to look good there, but I'm not going to flex that out so big. It's just a choice. So I'm going to add a background image to the hero section here. And let's choose an image. Okay, so you have to choose an image. That's not going to work. But see, this image could work, and I could actually pull that color and make the rest of it solid. So just not repeat it. Or I could do the same. Could do the same there because I can't see everything there. So which one do I roll with here? So maybe we start here. Start with this one just because. If I go to my mood board here that I was using before, you can see this kind of pink color come out in images that we've used before. So maybe try this just a little bit. It's a really good image to start with. So we're going to make it cover. We're going to place it right there where it's kind of. In fact, if I'm going to do some hero text, I kind of need something that kind of pushes to the side, don't I? And I'm wondering if it would be best to cut this model out and get me a nice textured pink color like this and throw it behind her so I can move the image over, move the model over, and have some copy for a call to action. And in fact, that's what I'll do. And maybe I'll cut out all of the models so I can play with every model on and on a background. So I can choose model, choose background, and flip those out. So, oh, okay, good question, Stu. Going back a bit, how do you approach mood boarding? Was that Dropbox paper? So yes, it was Dropbox paper. Um, is what I was using. I like I'm a Google Docs person personally, but like when I start getting creative, like it's really, 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 really hard to compete with Dropbox paper just because of the way that it grids everything and the way you can highlight images and bring content in, and kind of change the way they highlight. You know, like you can pick an image and change its layout a little bit, and move it up on a row of its own. Then it makes it a little bit bigger, and then it grids everything. And it also has this really great tool built in here where I can present this to a client. So um, let's see if it loads here. It's taking its time. But when it comes over, I can even go full screen and treat it almost just like a PowerPoint presentation and walk them through. And because it's Dropbox paper, I can share the link with clients so they can go in and swap out images with me, or they can bring in content, or if there's another creative that I'm collaborating with, they can do the same. They can be changing color palettes and whatever, and it makes it really easy to present and just kind of show off, what we're going for. Um, and on this particular mood board, the client supplied me with some Instagram accounts and some different web pages and sources and things that they really, really liked. And so I stole from all of those and kind of put that together. So all right, so let's go back to clipping magic, right? Because I want to cut these models out on all of these because I want to be able to have the freedom and to kind of show what I'm talking about here. I'll just pull in, one image here. I'll choose of my skincare model, and maybe I don't want to tile this, but I want to put it up against the right side. I'll make it a width of like 200 here. Nope, 300. Yep, and I can pump this background color to whatever I want here, and pull the model on top. And so that way, obviously these pictures don't work right because of the way they're hard cut. I'm gonna have to use these in a couple different areas, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. So I have room to put landing page text and call to action buttons and all that, and maybe I'll grab some textures and combine them with these colors so that I have kind of that. Because one thing I do love about this picture, and you'll notice this in some of the pictures on the mood board. Um, if I cover this here real quick, let's go ahead and show that. Like I love the subtle texture for it looks like she's either on drywall with an orange peel background or it's a stucco. I can't really tell the difference. But I love that. I love that texture. I think that's part of what makes this image really, really awesome. And plus, it kind of brings over that vintage style and feel. I think so. Um, maybe I'm wrong, but I really like that. So I wanna capture that. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to. I want to have kind of control over where my model is in the image. So, all right. So let's jump back over to Clipping Magic, if you want. Let's go ahead and grab that. And apologies if you can hear my family thrashing around in the background. It's kind of funny. They're making breakfast. I think it's pancakes and bacon happening right about now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Plus, they're watching the new season of The Flash, and they're so stoked. I'm not so much a fan of The Flash, but that's okay. It's okay. At least the show, The Flash, on Netflix. All right, so I'm going to start with this model here. And in fact, I might actually go back to Unsplash and pull a few different pictures of models and not so worry so much about the mood in the background and the colors matching, and spend more time trying to find some diverse looks because I know that that's important to my client. Awesome to have clients who that's important to. So I'm just going to start by yeah, I don't want any of this. Okay, and now let's just start selecting what I do want here. All right. Let's jump through, and I don't want this. I don't want that. All right, now comes the really fun, challenging pieces of uh, getting the background through the hair. Hair is always fun, right? So let's go ahead and push it a little bit further. Don't want you. Yep, just like that. Clipping Magic is so dang good too. It's so smart about knowing what you do want and what you don't want. And I want you, and I want you, but I don't want. Let's go ahead and zoom back in here. Don't want you. Yep. So those little things you got to look out for. It's that stuff right there. Okay. And then back over here. Zooming in, it's the same thing right here. Yeah, I do want this, I do want this, but I don't want this right here. Yeah. Get rid of that. Alright. That is an earring, so I don't have to worry about that. And let's come look at this, see on the right side and the left side down at the bottom. I know this takes a little time, but I still feel like this is so much quicker than Photoshop. Just for quick and dirty cuts, especially if these aren't final images I'm going to be using, with my project. That may be something we just live with for a little bit, maybe. Yeah, let's go back in, really. undo that last one. Yeah, so I didn't want that. I do kind of want to scrub some of this. I want to scrub that. Okay. With this, I might be better just kind of get rid of some of the extra curl. And coming in here and defining what I do want. Yeah. Perfect. So now I have a model. I can download just that specific piece there. And then I'm going to come back over and I'm going to close out. And I'm going to upload another image. So let's select another model here. So compressed images here. Okay, we gotta work on that one, and we gotta work on this one. And this one, it doesn't work. I don't have to worry about so much because of the way this one is cropped. So let's just start here. I feel like it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. we get a little progress, and then we turn around and have to go back and start hunting images again. So my apologies. Cleaning up images and hunting images, but I think in the long run it's going to make the site so much better. Especially for that opening section where it's like a call to action. I'm going to have a call to action rocking, and I really want to, I need some good copy and a place for a good button, and I don't want to have to fight with positioning images. The easiest way to do it is just to kind of take it in your own hands and have the models in the background separate so you can kind of move them. At least that's been my experience. All right. Let's just say, hey, we don't want any of this. Ugh, this works just like a champ. I love it. Even in really complicated areas, it just... And that's pretty clean, pretty quick. Come in here and worry about these other images, these other areas here. So get rid of that. And then I want to, so it looks like she got her arm and her elbow pretty perfect. Oh, I'm missing this stud on this jacket. Oh, just gonna try to color it exclusively here, and then right around it there. There we go. All right. Detail, detail. All right, let's jump up here on the hair. And pop in. I keep hitting that button wrong. I don't know why. All right, so let's go ahead and let's steal that away. We don't really need that. Oh, it's not going to work? Okay, we'll just keep it just like that. So now I have another model. I'm going to go ahead and download it. Once again, I'll have my own images to really play with once I'm ready to go into production, get closer to production. So, Is this the right one? Let's show this in Finder. No, so I haven't downloaded this one yet. So I'm going to download this one as well. All right, so got two. Let's go ahead and do a third, and then I'm going to look for a couple more. I'll look for a couple more models that may be more diverse in color and appearance and style, just so I can kind of have something to show off here. So let's see, let's pull up another image. Okay, let's open this up and go ahead and zoom in here. I love this image so much. All right, so don't want any of this, don't want any of this. Okay, and then pull this, that, the other. Look how clean that is because of the solid background. I love it. I know frilly hair from this dude, and so I don't have to worry about. Do not have to worry about having the issues with. Nope, too much. Come on, Ben. There we go. So let's really zoom in. All right. And then back to the other side. I don't want this. Okay. And if I really zoom in, once again, I can kind of get these areas of separation right up here. All right. So model number 3. Download that result. Right, so now I've got that one as well. Close out, and let's just go back to Unsplash and look for some models. See if we can get some variation in those. So come back over, choose model. Let's see here. Looking more at model style, kind of like this. It's good. Oh, this could be interesting. Really like that. I think this is great. And yes, please. Some different style here. I don't need so many, I just want to have some choices and some options. Ugh, this is great. I wish the column will make that hard to cut off hand. But you can also do some fun things with it. Alright. Once again, this is just mock-up style, so I probably shouldn't get so caught up in all the images. It's really hard. I get addicted. I could look at images and fonts for forever, it feels like. So I'm going to download this guy. And download this. And time to download this one too. And this one. Probably won't cut them all out, but now I'm going to have to decide, make some choices here. That's really nice too. Okay. All right. So let's get back to clipping here. Um, so which ones do I like the best? That's really unique, and I really like it. So maybe this one. I also really like that one a lot. But I think the white might make that. Oh, the white might make it difficult, but maybe not. No, that's not bad right there. It's got that gritty texture that I'm kind of going for. Oh, look, hey, there's a dog in the reflection of the glasses. That's awesome. Is that a dog? It looks like a dog. Okay. I like that that's what my eyes were drawn to. So, um, okay. Let's start with this one right here. And we'll just get one or two of these. And then we'll move on to back to playing with this here. So this image was shrunk because it was so large. Get it. So yes, I want to keep this. I want to keep this. It's cool. It's kind of like drawing stick figures. Let's get to mark this up. Okay, and then don't want any of this. Okay, I don't want any of that. None of this. This. All right. Time to zoom in and kind of work on detail here. And in fact, I'll probably end up cutting this model off, so I don't really know if I need all this detail, but well, better safe than sorry in case you want to use the whole image. So for here, might as well do it all. So, oh, that's partly my fault because I drew on that part. That's pretty good. I love this tool so much. It just makes it so easy. Okay. And so coming back down this side, and really it's the feet now. Once again, look at that. I drew over an area that I didn't want to keep. That's my fault. Garbage input, garbage output. Am I right? If I tell it to do the wrong thing, it's going to do the wrong thing. Okay, let's see here. Eek, no, too much, too much. Okay. And to get these shoes here. There we go. All right. I think that will work. Awesome. So I can go ahead and download this result. I feel bad because I said, hey, I'm going to stream building a site in Webflow, and I spent more time outside of Webflow than inside of Webflow. So, apologies. All right, and so let's go ahead and grab an image here as well. Another one. So while I'm trying to decide on this, I'm going to try this one. This one may not work, but let's just try it. What are sites? Stu, you're watching. Where do you have a place you like to go get um, background textures? Any place at all? Because I am always up for. I'm going to need some for this for sure, and I would love to have some background textures to lay over these background colors behind the models to kind of give it that feel. So if anybody's got a suggestion of where they typically go, I am up for all of the suggestions. God, look at that. One mark, and it just basically said, we get it. You don't want any of that. I love this tool so much. All right, let's see here. I don't want you. Okay. God, it just absolutely killed it. Did good work here. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and have that. Yep. All right, well, that was easy enough. Here I was saying because it was an outdoor scenery, it might not work all that well, and it just absolutely worked terrific. So the texture of the image is also really nice, so I don't want that. I don't think I want that. Yeah. So let's download that. Waiting for that brain to kick into gear. Okay, let's download this one as well. So now we've got that one. All right, so now we have a few images to work with. Let's actually pop back over and see what we've got. We've got this one. We've got this one. And we actually have this one, and this one. Now you notice the way Clipping Magic works, it retains the same shape of the image. So like it's like the whole background is still there, even though it cut it out. It retains that size. So we're going to have to go into Photoshop and work with these. But I like this because we have more diversity in our models, and I think this will work really well. And maybe we can make the hero section kind of a slider where the background color changes, like a fade, and the model slides in and out like the different models. So maybe something like that. That could be fun. I don't know. Don't know. Okay, let's see here. So I'm gonna pop over and I need to open Photoshop back up here. Probably should have closed it, but it was eating so much processor. My computer is about to set on fire. I have almost been streaming for 2 hours now. Can you guys believe that? It's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to create new here. Actually, I'm just going to open. Go to my downloads, and I'm going to open up all of these model pictures one at a time here. And then I'm just going to crop them down to where it's just the model and nothing else. Just get rid of all the giant background here. That way, it's a little easier to handle the images. So obviously going to have to save these as PNGs to keep the transparency. So go ahead and do that. Oh, and you can see a mistake I made right here. Wah wah, right there. Missed that. Do I still have this one up over here? Let's look. Things, transparenttextures.com. Okay. It's from Stu. Go ahead and pull that up and take a peek. Oh, I have never been here before, but this is awesome. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. And this is the exact kind of texture we're talking about too. Billie Holiday. bedrooms. Awesome, Stu. Thanks for the resource. This is terrific. Typically use subtle patterns a lot, but I think I like this a lot better. A lot better. So, good call. Alright, so let's go back into Clipping Magic here. Here's my recent one. I should be able to pull it right back up. Yep, I missed it because it was so plain, but you can see it right there. Had a little piece of background jutting out. That was going to make for a really, really, really frustrating time when I got finished and was ready to pop that in. So now I can download. All right. So now I can come back over here. I'm going to cancel this, and close this out, and open up the new one I just downloaded. Don't save. Okay, and then let's open. And go ahead and pull from this. And let's just grab one model or two here. And then play with these textures and just see if it's what we want before we get too far down the road. So save this as, so I'm going to come back and save it, go to my desktop, back to my, I'm going to say new folder, model cutouts, and we'll just say model 1. Alright, don't save it, and then let's open up a new one. See, just something to go with. Who have I already cut out? Yeah, let's go right here. Open this one up, and let's crop here. Okay, here, and here. Alright. Let's just save it as model 2. Alright, so have the PNGs, and then now let's grab some of these colors and try out this transparent texture tool from I like it. Nearly suggested subtle patterns. That's funny. I love subtle patterns. I use them a lot. Probably too much. So now I'm gonna come in my mood board here, and I can just grab a color out of here. Like, so one of the images in the one of the color I liked from that previous model, like the background color, so it was like this color right here. So let's just go with this and see what we get here. So, oh, put in the extra hash. That's okay. Okay. So now we can kind of see what we're gonna get. This is kind of good, and so is this. So let's just like download this real quick. Give it a test run. So let's come back into Webflow here. Go to our hero section and let's grab an image. Let's choose a background image here. Let's go to our downloads. Pull this in. And yeah, we're going to tile it. And I love it. Oh, so it really is transparent. So I get to add my own color in. I like that. So we'll pull this color in. So it kind of gives us that same texture we had before. And then we could even add another image and upload. And let's just grab this here. Oh no, that's too big. Wrong image, wrong image, wrong image. Yeah, this is the one where I did not resize. So let's actually replace this image. I'm so sorry. Upload. Let's go to our desktop because I exported these out of Photoshop. The model cutouts. Oh man, I did not put an extension on this one. Come on. Let's come up. Model cutouts. .png. Yeah. Edit. It's fine. Okay, so let's upload. And we don't want to tile it. And yeah, we can say we want it here. And we can give it a width, like 250 or whatever. Okay, perfect. So now, like, we can kind of adjust where that model goes, so that we can play with that homepage hero text and call to action. That's not balanced right, really. You have to play with some placement here. So in fact, I think probably what I'd want to do is put it on a container so it stays in that 900 width. So like, let's do that real quick. So I can trash this. And then on my hero section, I'm just going to make this relative. And I'm going to throw this in here. I'm going to throw in a div block. And I'm going to say hero BG model holder, model wrapper. And then I'm going to make this absolute. That's 500. I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to choose a background image here. Yeah. I like this much better. I don't want to tile it. I want to make it a width of like 250. And then that way it kind of sticks to the the width of the hero, and I've got a place to put some text and a call to action. So it kind of keeps that style. I'd probably want to play with the texture a little bit, and whatnot, but then I can easily, I can replace this. This is really cool. I'm glad you showed me that, Stu, because now I can replace this model, and then I can even change colors on this background because it's so flexible. So, uploading, doing the same thing here. Yeah. But then being able to change that solid color and go like, even a teal or a yellow or whatnot. Yeah. So this is fun because we can really play with this and make it pop a little bit. So super fun. Super fun. All right. Well, yeah, that's really cool, Stu. Like I'm glad you showed that to me because literally I can change the color and it shows me kind of what I'm gonna end up with, and but then it's transparent so I can still play with that background color in Webflow. Like that's super awesome. So okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I've been streaming for 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and take a break and eat. So I haven't had anything to eat yet today. And then I'm going to keep designing. And I probably will jump back on here in a little bit and stream some more. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I hope everybody is cool with that. And wow, caught up in my throat. So, and then if you want me to, I'm happy to jump back on and stream a little bit more as I finish this up because I feel bad because I really didn't stream much of a Webflow build. I ended up streaming much more the process to get there, and I apologize for that. That's not really what I said this is going to be, but that's kind of just part of the process of me getting started and trying to figure out what direction I want to go and kind of how I want to play with this. And so anyway, um, happy to jump back on and stream later. And if I am, I hope you just jump in and watch. And if not, no big deal. I'll try to post on the forum um, an hour or so before I pick back up. That way, if everybody wants to jump on and watch, they can. So, Stu, I appreciate you watching. Oh, and yeah, I love that I'm able to kind of show the full process of kind of how I go about it. I love to see how other designers work because I've found that everybody just designs in such a different way, and so I'm with you. I like seeing the process. I think that's really fun. So, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and then, like I said, I'll be jumping back on later if anybody wants to join. Thanks, guys.